using these green lines on here to sort of showcase what we're doing. Okay, so setup-wise, we're very, very good. So good lines there we're making with our sort of lead arm, the club, and the shaft there, and a nice line. Nice sort of bit of shoulder lean there. Very, very good. So a lot of good things in your setup: grip, ball position, stance. Your posture was good. The issue you had on the left-hand swing now, as we'll see when we go back, and this is why you were sort of missing the ball or topping it or having some issues with your contact. You were moving off that green line, which made you get further from the golf ball, and then you were shortening your swing length by your arm bending. And look how much your left wrist, I mean, that left wrist is really, I mean, your left wrist is like that. Your fingers are underneath the club. I mean, that looks painful to me when I do that. And when we got you there, we couldn't even bend your wrist that way. It's very much collapsed up to that position. So when you come back to the golf ball, you've got to make a massive adjustment there to either lower your head or drop yourself down or extend your, or do loads of different things. And if you're not quite timing it that well, when it's good, it'll be pretty good. And you're playing a lot of golf, you kind of get used to that time. And the bad shots will be like, oh my God, I missed the ball completely. And that's the problem. Okay? As much as your good shots have improved massively, your bad shots have got a lot better. Okay, so this is the practice swing here on the right-hand side. Okay, on that green line. As you go back, you can see staying on that green line, and your hands are a lot higher. Just look at the difference in your hands there. They look kind of normal, like someone's sort of done this, whereas this looks all kind of like trying to right like a left-hander, so we're trying to curve your left wrist around there. Okay, your fingers are underneath on top of the club there, with your thumbs underneath. Where this one, your thumbs on the side in an awkward position. So that was your practice swing, and I'd recommend you have a couple of these at the moment before each shot. So you go to the top, you bring it back down and reset. You then do another one to the top, again, same good position, and reset. And then when you get to the golf ball now, we just hit it. Because you've done all that, those two practice swings there now. As you go back, you can see there now, there's your new batch, okay? So your hands are a little bit further away from you. They're still a little bit, they're not as good as the practice swing. No. But what we'll find is when you're making practice swings, because you're not thinking about actually making contact with the ball, you can focus more on what your body's doing, so you can start pushing your hands a little bit higher, keeping that width, get your body to rotate better without swaying. So all these different moves you can kind of implement thinking about them. And then when you get to the golf ball, you'll get somewhere in between. But over time with the practice swings, if you make two really good practice swings and then one swing that's kind of halfway between this swing and your practice swing, those real swings are going to start moving towards where you want to go. Just your muscle memory will just start adjusting slightly, okay? As you're at the top there, as you come back to the golf ball now, you can see, because you haven't had to move so far, really, really good strike of the golf ball there. And the pleasing thing for me, how much twist through that golf ball you had. I'm not sure how much on the right-hand one here now. It looks a bit scoopy there with the arm. This arm sort of scooping underneath there, okay? This looks a much more kind of swishing swing around your body there. Again, 115 or so yards with that 7 wood or 5 wood, okay? Very, very good. So for me, really, it's sort of focusing on maintaining yourself in terms of your width in your swing and your head positions. There's a lot less going on there. You're turning your right side, as in your right shoulder, and your right hip around the corner, so you kind of make a better turn and just sort of stay there. Whereas before on this one, you can see whoop, moving off the ball. You see your arms getting to about here, then they collapse now. So from there now, just your left bicep as such doesn't really move. If we put a line across here, there's your left arm. Left arm doesn't really move that far from there, and the club goes from sort of up here somewhere to over there. So that's all just this collapsing with the left arm. It's very difficult. As you can see, holding the golf club like that would be very difficult to swing the golf club with any kind of control, because, I mean, your hand bending in that sort of bowed position with it's putting strain on your wrist that you don't really want to have, okay? So because of that collapsing and that moving off the golf ball, you had to make adjustments. And the thing is, you got good at making that adjustment, but it's making the game harder. And then when the ground's a bit uneven, the lie's a bit slopey, or using a different club, or you're in the rough, or whatever it may be. And again, you said it was at the third or fourth shot, it'd often go wrong. Probably you tee off with a driver, hit one of these shots with your second, and then the next one maybe a different club, maybe a shorter club. You've got used to that really long driver, really longish fairway wood. Then you go to a massively different shorter club, maybe sort of 4, 5, 6 inches shorter, and you adjust. If the ball's below your feet, you've got to adjust more. And if you're collapsing your arm and moving off the ball, that ball now is incrementally that much further away. So you just don't reach it. And you just top it or miss it completely. So we can maintain kind of your swing arc there, turn your right side out the way, keep your arms up nice and high.
The club's behind me,
100%, yeah. No, with the feeling will start for you to be going a bit more, okay?
Yeah.
If you get a little bit low and collapsy behind you. For me, what I'm really looking for in an ideal world there, if you look at the sort of practice swing, backswing here now, look at the height of that club there. Your wrists are a little bit more kind of in a more natural position, and the club head now you can see at the top of your head. Whereas here in this backswing, I mean, sort of goes with your eyes and your nose level, sort of like really collapse. But a lot of that's coming. Just look at the difference in the left arm there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
one's like that, one's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You see, so getting that kind of, and again, the left wrist is a sort of another key thing. You can see how much your wrists.
I can. Yeah.
I mean, that looks painful to me.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So yeah.
Yeah.
So we can just kind of maintain some positions. It means there's a lot less to do, because from the top of the batch and there, Yvonne, if when you come back to the golf ball, I mean, if we think from there on this left-hand one, the club's coming down at like 3:36 on the clock. We're hitting the golf ball at 3:73, so it's like a third of a second. It's not a lot you can do in that time. If you've got to try to adjust in a third of a second to something that's wrong at the top of the backswing, good luck with getting that consistently. You will do on occasion some good shots, as we could see, but it was either very good or, oh dear, cool, blimey, where's that going?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If the inconsistencies, that's hard to score, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.